channel. Welcome if you're new or if you're coming over from the playlist. I'm Holly, and today I'm sharing with you our monthly group collaboration. And this one, we do a theme every month. So this one is going to be healthy meal ideas. And I think with the new year and everything, everybody's wanting to try to start eating a little healthier, things like that. So we're gonna make some really good, delicious, healthy meals that you can make for your family. I'm gonna leave the playlist down below in the description box of my YouTube friends who are making some delicious recipes for this one. And it is being hosted by Melissa at I'm Merely Melissa and Kristy at Kristy's Farmhouse. They're two sweet, very sweet YouTube friends. And I know you will love their channels. They have lots of recipes and lifestyle type content on there, so please be sure to go and check their channels out. And now I'm going to show you what it is I made for this collaboration, and I hope that you enjoy the video. And the recipe I'm making for you today is a very healthy one. So it is Cornish hens with spinach, and very simple and easy to make. And I'm going to put some things in that spinach to make it taste really good. But the recipe I cannot link because it was in a Weight Watchers app, so I'm going to write it down below in the description box. But the recipe I'm making is going to be doubled, so the original recipe I'm going to put in the description box will just be for 2 of the Cornish hens, and you can go from there if you want to double it or anything. But for this, I'm using, instead of 2, I'm using 4 Cornish hens, and we will spatchcock these, and I'll show you how to do that. Very simple and easy. And spinach, it calls for 10 ounces of spinach, but I'm adding 20 ounces since I'm doubling it. And you want to make sure that's drained off really well. Squeeze out all that water. For the seasoning, I'm using 2/4 of a teaspoon of nutmeg, 2/4 of a teaspoon of black pepper, and 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt. You will need about 2 teaspoons of butter melted. It calls for a shallot, which I went to 2 stores, they did not have them, so I just used a yellow onion, which can be substituted for a shallot. So I just took half of a yellow onion and chopped that up really fine, thinly. And also it called for Bosc pear, B-O-S-C, I believe. And they did not have that either, so I used an Anjou pear. And you can use that. It is a good substitute, and it worked well with this. I'm using 8 teaspoons of pure maple syrup. So make sure that you're using a pure maple syrup for this, not just regular pancake syrup. It does make a difference in the taste. Also 4 tablespoons of pecans chopped up, and I did chop those up just, into small pieces. Now, for the spatchcocking, all you need to do is cut the backbone out. That is basically what this is that you're doing. So just cut along each side of the backbone. And this can be done for Cornish hens, chicken, turkey, things like that. So this is going to help it cook a little more evenly, and it just cooks a little bit faster. So if you take that out and discard it, then you have spatchcocked your Cornish hen. So simple and easy. Nothing, really to it. And then just clean out the inside if there's any, gizzards or anything in there. Then this just makes it, like I said, easier to make it flatter on the pan. Now for the spinach, I was contemplating because the recipe did not have exact instructions. So with the syrup and the butter that you melt, it says to kind of you had to put a teaspoon of each on the side, and that would go into the spinach, I believe, but it wasn't really specific on it. So I'm just doing it this way. That little bowl there, I've already put a teaspoon in of each, so I'm adding another teaspoon of the syrup and a teaspoon of the butter, the melted butter, and that I'm going to reserve to put into the spinach. The rest of the syrup and the butter, I'm just going to add that together and put that on the side. That's going to be the glaze for the Cornish hens. So you want more of the glaze, to put on the Cornish hens. So add a teaspoon well, I'm adding 2 teaspoons of the syrup and 2 teaspoons of the butter into the spinach. And like I said, I will leave the recipe down below for, just if you're doing it for 2 Cornish hens. And then you can kind of go from there. But I mix that in with the spinach. And then I'm going to take that seasoning and just mix it up. And I'm going to add all of the seasoning to the spinach. It did not say to add that to, like, the glaze for the top of the Cornish hens. So I'm assuming I'm supposed to add this all in. And that's what I'm going to do. So I just add a little bit at a time. I want to make sure that it gets mixed in well and that it gets seasoned throughout the spinach. It's not just one little spot that gets, the seasoning. So I'm just adding it and mixing it in. Then add the onions, the pears, the pecans, and then you want to just make sure you mix it up really well. So that is why you need a large bowl for this. Otherwise things will fly out of the bowl. But I just kind of mixed it up a little bit with the tongs first, just to try to get everything mixed in. I want to make sure, and then I switched to a spoon. I wanted to make sure that the seasoning gets onto the pears as well. I sprayed a sheet pan with some nonstick spray. Then I'm going to take that spinach mixture and just make 4 mounds. And I try to make sure I, kind of put it equally on each one. And then once you have all of that spinach on there, add the Cornish hens on top of it, and it kind of flattens out, as you can see. And I'm just going to put this next one on. And I took a paper towel and made sure to just dry the skin off and everything, so that way it will, get some brown color on it when it bakes. But it also helps to get the skin a little bit crispier, so just make sure that it's dry. And then I'm going to take the mixture for the maple syrup and the butter, and I'm going to just put that on top of the chicken. And when you dry the chicken off, that also helps this to adhere to it a little bit better. But just make sure you get all the little nooks and crannies with that. If you don't have a brush, which is very handy to have, you can use a spoon or pour it on. But just make sure that you coat all of the Cornish hen with it. And knowing me, if you've been around for a while, I had to add garlic powder to this. And I did add some garlic and herb seasoning as well. I like to make sure that it's seasoned. I just felt like it needed a little bit more than just that, maple syrup glaze. And then I'm going to put this in the oven on 350 for about 45 minutes or until it comes out about 165, I believe, degrees for the poultry. And here I'm just going to use some plain panko breadcrumbs to make some zucchini fries and some garlic and herb seasoning to season it up. So and you can add whatever you want to this, whatever seasonings you prefer. I'm also going to add some garlic powder again, so I like to do that. And I'm just going to cut up some, and I'm going to mix that up just to make sure everything's fully incorporated. But then I'm going to cut up some zucchini fries and just cut, as thin or as thick as you like. And I just mix, I did add some garlic powder to the zucchini as well. And I did beat up an egg and then just put those, zucchini fries in that, and then tossed it into the panko breadcrumbs. And then I'm going to air fry these, so just something real quick and easy. And like I said, just put them into your air fryer, cook them. And then this is what the Cornish hens look like when they come out of the oven. These turned out great. I really love, how they got brown and everything. Really nice. And the juices, season that spinach really, really well. So I just put half of one on my plate. And like I said, that spinach, if you don't like spinach, I think you would like this. This is really delicious. It had such a nice flavor to it. Also, those zucchini fries, those turned out great. I did add a little bit of Cajun seasoning for some of those. The others I left plain because my grandson was eating them, so I forgot to mention that. But really a delicious, healthy meal. So please don't forget to check Melissa and Kristy's channels out, and also the playlist that is down below. But if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you're interested in seeing more like it, please click that subscribe button and the notification bell. That will notify you when I post new videos. Hope everyone has a blessed day. I thank y'all so much for watching. God bless y'all.